Optimus Prime here. So it's time to react to a video called Transformers for Basics on Bumblebee today. So it's been pretty interesting talking all about Bumblebee, one of my favourite Transformers of all time. Oh yeah, and before we begin the video, I just want to say, I'm doing this as a request by Omegas because today is his birthday. So happy birthday, Omegas. Hope you have a great day, mate. So anyway, without further ado, full on and full screen, and let's go!
After Optimus Prime, if there's one name that's become associated with the Transformers brand above all others in the 21st century, it's Bumblebee. This yellow Autobot is almost a one-bot franchise. In fact, next year, he will be when he gets his own movie.
Yeah, great
but the
movie.
path Bumblebee has taken to his current level of fame has been an irregular one. The toy that would become the original Bumblebee started out as the micro-robot car Volkswagen Beetle, released as part of the Japanese Microman toy line in 1983. When imported by Hasbro to become part of the first year of the Transformers toy line in 1984, the figure was christened Bumblebee by Marvel writer Bob Budiansky and characterized as the little brother of the Autobots, a small, overeager smartmouth who served as the Autobots' primary spy and who idolized the bigger bots around him and was determined to prove himself to them. Bumblebee played a key role in the earliest issues of the original Marvel comic book when, after being injured in a Decepticon attack, he made first contact with humanity as young Buster Witwicky took what he thought was a damaged car back to his father's auto shop, only to discover it was a robot from outer space. Bumblebee's role in the first few years of the comics quickly dropped off after this early outing, though, with only a few other stories that put him at the fore, which usually involved him running off on his own and getting into trouble in accordance with the bio Budiansky had written. It was in the Generation 1 cartoon that Bumblebee really rose to prominence, and which shaped his role in Transformers media going forward. Per Budiansky's bio, he got to perform a little espionage in the pilot miniseries, helping plant a bomb in a Decepticon-controlled mine. But it was when he was sent on another spy mission in the first episode of the series proper, Transport to Oblivion, that his role in the show changed forever. Bee was accompanied on this mission by the Autobots' human friend, Spike Witwicky, and thus was born a friendship that would forever characterize Bumblebee as the Autobot kid appeal character, the little buddy who hung out with the humans. Spy missions and attempts to prove himself just didn't really factor into Bumblebee's role in the series after that. It was his friendship with Spike that became his defining attribute, and which saw him become a mainstay of the series, a primary cast member all the way through the first two seasons, even well past the point when his fellow 1984 characters had faded into the background. Bumblebee's cartoon-born popularity and strong toy sales ensured that he survived the events of 1986's The Transformers.
Oh yeah, I'm so glad that Bumblebee survived.
Of so many of his fellows. He was actively excluded from the kill list Hasbro assembled for the film, which reflected the product that was being discontinued in the 1986 toy assortment. In fact, Bumblebee was the only 1984 Autobot whose toy was still available at mass retail in 1986. Fallout from the deaths in the movie further clued Hasbro into the importance that their characters held for their audience, and so the following year, Bumblebee was the subject of another momentous first for the franchise. He got a brand new toy, and was renamed Goldbug. Bumblebee's new form was quickly and prominently incorporated into both the comics and the animated series, though each offered a different origin for it. In the cartoon, he was badly wounded by the deranged Superion and rebuilt by a Quintesson at Optimus Prime's instruction. In the American comic, a catastrophic misunderstanding saw him blown to bits by G.I. Joe, who then reassembled him when they realized the error of their ways, with a little help from Ratchet. And in the UK comic, he was blasted to smithereens by the time-traveling bounty hunter Death's Head and restored by the Junkion Wreck-Gar. The cartoon ended soon after, meaning that Goldbug didn't enjoy much screen time past his introduction.
Yeah, he only appeared in Rebirth, didn't he?
Cast member in the comic book again, standing alongside the rebellious Blaster to oppose Grimlock's tyrannical leadership of the Autobots, and even playing a key role in bringing Optimus Prime back from the dead. Goldbug met his end at the hands of Starscream when his toy was discontinued in 1988. But in 1989, the release of yet another new toy saw him resurrected again, this time as one of several old characters reborn as classic pretenders. Back to being Bumblebee again, this new lease on life ensured him a continued role in the Marvel comic during some of its most celebrated storylines, and his presence in the toy line would only continue the following year when a new Action Master incarnation of the character was released. All in all, when the curtains were drawn on Generation 1, More toys of Bumblebee had been released than any other character, and one representation of him or another had been available on store shelves for 6 out of the 7 years of the series.
Wow.
No surprise then that when Transformers was revived as Generation 2 a few years later, Bumblebee was there on the front lines. His original toy re-released in gold and chrome,
Very
and a
popular.
new G2 GoBot figure to round out the
Ooh.
series. But after that, nothing. Hasbro's inability to secure a trademark on his name meant Bumblebee disappeared from Transformers for over 10 years. It's almost unthinkable today, but the entirety of the Beast era, the original Robots in Disguise, and the Unicron trilogy all passed by, without one of, if not the, most popular character from the original series returning. But that's not to say that they didn't try. In 2002's Transformers Armada, Optimus Prime's Minicon partner Sparkplug was clearly designed to resemble Bumblebee. And from the same series, the young Autobot Hotshot was in fact originally intended to be a new incarnation of Bumblebee, until the trademark problems necessitated the change of name.
Yeah, it does look like him a
He
bit.
certainly fits the bill, the young yellow Kid Appeal Autobot with some of the closest ties to the show's human allies. But in practice, Hotshot's character arc was much more akin to that of Generation 1 Hot Rod, less the overeager little brother that Bumblebee had been, and more the brash, hot-headed all-American boy who winds up maturing over time and assuming a leadership role himself. Eventually, Hasbro reacquired the Bumblebee
Bayformers
name for use
movie.
in the 2007 live-action movie, creating the first new incarnation of the character since the original. And Movieverse Bumblebee drew heavily on that original character, playing the role of friend and guardian to the Autobots' human ally, Sam Witwicky. But though he was still young and impetuous, the small and vulnerable Bumblebee of Generation 1 was left in the past. No longer a dinky Volkswagen, with his powerful Camaro muscle car alternate mode, Movie-Bee could handle himself in a fight better than most, and racked up a serious con-kill count over the course of the film series. His most distinctive new attribute, though, was a damaged voice box that left him unable to speak and required him to
It's a shame that he didn't talk, isn't it? It was new.
Bumblebee's triumphant return to the screen and to toy store shelves meant that new
Look at all those
continuities with their
toys.
own new versions of Bumblebee soon sprang up, beginning
Oh yeah,
with Transformers
animated.
Animated in late 2007. But it was with this series that the importance of Bumblebee's short-lived link with Hotshot came back into play. You see, during the development of Animated, Hotshot was going to be part of the series cast. But after Hasbro resecured the Bumblebee name for the movie, Hotshot was renamed and redesigned to resemble the classic Bumblebee character. But his role in the show went unchanged. The little yellow Kid Appealbot, yes, closest friend to human ally Sari Sumdak, but also the brash, troublemaking speed demon that Hotshot had been in the Unicron trilogy, whose insubordinate antics often caused the Autobots as much trouble as their enemies did. This inadvertent appropriation of some of Hot Rod's personality traits, via the missing link of Hotshot, began an evolution of Bumblebee's character and place in the Transformers universe that continues today. Although he's still considered a major legacy character, you won't see much of Hot Rod in modern Transformers cartoons, because, little by little, Bumblebee has subsumed the role that he once played, and that includes the maturation to leadership arc that was once Hot Rod's defining characteristic, but which has, post-animated, been part of every major depiction of Bumblebee. This is most evident in the Aligned continuity, which is distilled down the
My favourite
various
Transformers
elements of
game.
Bumblebee from throughout history to create the character as he appears on TV today. Having lost his voice during the War for Cybertron, Aligned Bumblebee appeared in Transformers Prime in a manner virtually identical to his movie incarnation. Mute, able to emit only beeps and buzzes, which could nevertheless be understood by his human partner, Ralph Esquivel. Though he was the junior member of Optimus Prime's team, a scout awaiting his chance to
I feel like in Prime he was too much like the movie Bumblebee, wasn't
fighter in
he?
his own right, respected by his teammates, and especially by Blades and the Rescue Bots, in whose own show he occasionally guest starred. At series' end, Bumblebee regained his voice and won the war when he struck the blow that killed Megatron, leading
It was
to
great that
his
he talked
successful
again.
graduation and to his leading role in the 2015 sequel series Robots in Disguise, in which he now serves as leader of a team of young Autobots thrown together on Earth. IDW's comic books have charted their own path to leadership for Bumblebee when, in 2010, he won out over Hot Rod in a leadership contest to see who succeeded Optimus Prime. After trading in his traditional Volkswagen form for a movie-esque muscle car alternate mode, he was injured in a Decepticon assassination attempt that left him walking with a cane, and went on to become joint leader of post-war Cybertron, working with Starscream and Metalhawk to establish a new government. Later, he gained a gold fire upgrade that homaged his classic evolution into Goldbug, before apparently dying at the hands of Shockwave, only for what seems to be his ghost to now haunt Starscream. Even the movies have followed a similar track, with Bee serving as Autobot leader in Optimus Prime's absence in both Age of Extinction and The Last Knight. But whether it's in film, on television, or on the comic book page, the story of Bee's leadership is never an easy one. Because he's still that little brother at heart, the kid appeal character that the Autobots all like, but who, it turns out, they have a lot of trouble taking seriously as their leader. As his story goes on, Bumblebee continues to struggle to make the other Autobots respect his authority, and strives to escape the shadow of Optimus Prime.
Wow,
Those are the
that was really
basics
good.
on Bumblebee. Which incarnation's your favourite?
My favourite incarnation, probably from Generation 1, because that's the Transformers media that I grew up with first. Then the Michael Bay films is what I also grew up with. But I also love his incarnation in the Bumblebee movie as well. So you've all one of my three favourite incarnations, G1, the Bayformers, and the Bumblebee movie. Yeah. So this is me what to do with basics on Bumblebee. So yeah, be sure to give this video a like and let me know in the comments what you thought of this video or who your favourite Bumblebee incarnation is. Also be sure to subscribe to my channel for more videos coming in the future. And I will see you all later.